we or they built a radio studio here in the housing projects. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that,
Well,
Dr.
I think
Herbert
you got
Harris?
to take the message to the people. And you've
Ah,
really taken it to the people.
ah. Now, when you say take the message, what message is that?
Well, if you're doing it, Ricky, there must be a message of empowerment, a message of upliftment, and a message of motivation.
Right,
And so
right.
you're taking it to the people, and the fact that you got a station right there in the project, in the unit there, means that the people can get to you.
Wow. Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Reverend Ike?
Oh, yes.
You heard of Reverend Ike?
Reverend Ike is my mentor, my teacher, and he was and still is my friend.
Okay. Well, I was listening to one of Reverend Ike's tape programs, and he says, well, no. Matter of fact, he used to always say, he had this line he used to say, you can't lose with the stuff I use.
The stuff I use.
And so one day I was listening to the tape, and he was affirming what he meant. They said, well, Reverend Ike, what is it that you're using? He said, I'm using positive motivation and positive self-awareness. What did he mean by that?
His whole thing said, you can't lose with the stuff I use.
Right.
You can't miss with stuff like this.
Okay. No. So what did he mean by that?
Well, Reverend Ike employed the science of mind.
The science of mind. Wow.
Yes, sir. Positive self-awareness. That whatever you are aware of being is what you are.
Right. So, Dr. Harris, there's a lot of people that don't really believe in this thing called universal principles, universal success principles, universal principles. Like one of those principles, universal laws, is a thing called gravity, right? That's a universal law. And there's a lot of people that don't believe in that law. But I don't see them walking up on no tall buildings walking off either.
That's right. The physical laws are very easy to validate. You jump out the window, you're going to fall down and not up.
Right.
The spiritual laws are just as certain, but they are not. The validation of the spiritual laws requires a certain level of spiritual awareness to understand what's going on.
Man, that's deep. The physical laws we could kind of understand that a little better, but not the spiritual laws.
That's right. The spiritual laws, you can only. One of the things that Reverend Ike always said, you are the power of self-awareness, the power of self-image. And so you always see the world through your eyes and the eyes of your level of consciousness at that particular time. And so when spiritual laws manifest, if you are not on a level of consciousness where you can perceive of it, you won't even know what's going on.
Wow. That's pretty deep, man. That's pretty deep. So like you said, we're taking the message to the street, but how do we get people to understand that there is this thing called universal laws, and that if they practice them, they can learn how to use them just like anybody else?
Well, first, they have to want it. Now, they don't wake up one day saying, oh man, I want to learn the universal principles of success.
Right.
But they wake up with a dream. They wake up with a goal. They wake up with something that they want. Eric Thomas said, if you don't figure out what you want, it doesn't happen. You got to figure out what you want. And once you figure out what you want, then you spend the rest of your life trying to get it.
Okay.
And so if a person does not have a dream, a goal, then the spiritual laws don't really, well, they operate, but they're not even aware of how they're operating, number one. And number two, they're not aware of how they can use the spiritual laws to make what they want manifest in their lives.
Hey, Bill Dean, how do you feel about the universal laws of success?
I think that the universal laws of success don't apply to me because I feel that I've got to do more, but the physical laws of success do apply to me because what I've accomplished so far was like something that I have dreamed of doing, but never had a chance and pushed myself, graduated, and right now I feel like the physical laws are really capturing everything that I've done. The spiritual laws I have yet to see because the spirit that I'm thinking of is God, the overwhelming one. And I see him at work during the days, and I also see the devil. I mean, so the spiritual laws kind of scare me a little, but I'm not running away from them. I embrace them, but at the same time, I'm keeping my guard up.
Hey, Dr. Harris, can you respond to that, please?
Well, Ricky, I couldn't really hear him. It was very blurred. Maybe you could summarize it for me?
Run that back again, man. I don't know if I can summarize what he just said.
Okay, basically I just...
Well, maybe put the phone closer to him because I couldn't hear it at all. I could just hear kind of a blur, but not the specific words he was saying.
Yeah, speak now. Let's see if we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I mean, yes.
Can you hear him now, Dr. Harris?
Yes, yo.
Dr. Harris, can you hear him now?
Just barely.
Right. Because I also wanted to ask Doug before he makes his move. I wanted to ask Doug. Doug, how do you feel about the spiritual laws of success? Mr. Doug?
Oh, okay. What about them?
How do you feel about the spiritual laws of success?
What are they?
What are they?
Yeah.
He just broke them down to you.
Well, could you tell me to repeat it?
Dr. House, can you give him a brief synopsis of what the spiritual laws of success is?
Well, just as you say, Ricky, a brief synopsis. The first law of success is always what you think. It says, what you think about, you become. As the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Right,
and so the
right.
first law of success says, control your thinking, because you become what you think about most of the time.
Right.
So think the thoughts of what you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have, and that's step one.
So, like, for example, like, Doug believed that he could build this studio, and he did. He believed that.
Yes.
Is that what is that an example? Dr. Harris, is that an example?
That was his thought.
Right.
That's an example, an excellent example, because he had the thought of a studio in his mind. He not only had the thought, that thought was like a seed, and it became a vision. And then he obviously developed a plan to make that vision real, because you're sitting there in the studio right now, so it manifested.
We're sitting here right now. We're sitting in the studio right now. Doug, can you speak to that?
Well, I can speak to the fact that, this ain't the only thing that I've thought about and did. I can tell you that. We built a cable company. We built a number of networks. The thing that's driven me, that's pretty close to what Dr. Harris was talking about, is one time I got was at this at the Harvard Club where they were trying to recruit people to be to go to the Harvard Business School. And, I was in there with about 20 or 30 other people that they were looking to whatever. And a lady got up, and I've never forgot this. The lady got up and she said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. And she said, let me repeat that. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. And I think that's part of what Dr. Harris is saying when he's saying that you have to imagine it. If you think that you're going to be a winner, you can be a winner. If you think you're going to be a loser, you're going to be a loser. So you have to be able to believe and think that you could do it. And of course, people are going to tell you you can't, you don't know what you're doing, it's not allowed, particularly white people. They will always tell you, I'm not saying white people, the people who run the culture, run our system, they will tell you that they can't do you can't do anything because they have to justify it themselves. But you can't listen to them, and you can't believe that what they're doing is always going to be in your best interest. The only person who has your best interest is probably you.
Can you speak to that, Dr. Harris?
Well, I heard one of the powerful things he said was, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Right. Okay.
And so, whatever thoughts you have, if you let them manifest in your thinking and believe that you can accomplish them, they will be done. If you had a thought and said, I want to build a studio, and then he focused his thoughts on all the reasons why it can't be done. I want to build a studio, but I don't have the money. I want to build a studio, but I had one here before. I want to build a studio, but I don't know how. And it'll never happen. But if you just let that thought, I want to build a studio, that's my goal, that's what I'm going to do, then the spiritual law says if you think it and you doubt not, then that studio, that goal will begin to manifest in your life.
Well, remember, Rick, it was somebody else's goal, it wasn't my goal. Somebody else asked me to do it, and I said, of course I know how to do it.
Well, you have done it before.
Of course.
So it wasn't like the first time you've done it.
Of course not. We built a cable system.
Right.
In the basement of a project. So this was, and we had in that cable system, we had offices. We just took the basement that was no good, and we turned it over and flipped it and everything. Customer service. We had public access in there. So this would be the equivalent to the public access part. So of course I had done this before. This was light work. I was happy to do it, by the way.
Yeah.
I was happy to be asked.
Yeah,
I was ecstatic to be asked to do it.
Right, because he also built a studio in another project on the east side.
Well, that was different because somebody else had started that, and I tried to help them, and they didn't want any help. They thought that they were going to bring in young people to do all that, and I tried to explain to them that young people are busy doing nothing.
Right.
Every day. When you're a teenager, man, you just spending your whole day doing a whole lot of nothingness because you're trying to figure things out. And I tried to tell the guy that, and then he didn't listen. And then when he failed, they asked us to come in to fix it. And so we did.
And it's up and running.
You've been there.
How long has it been running now?
3 years. We've done 50 shows. We've done the Wisdom Table. Is in its third season by popular demand. It wasn't my idea. It was theirs.
It's called the Wisdom Table.
Yes, and so it's on YouTube, and we're up to like 55 episodes that we produced. And there's all of the 55 episodes are residents of the Housing Authority talking about all kinds of stuff.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Well, if you go to YouTube, you can see it.
So you have 2 studios in 2 different projects now.
Correct.
And are you looking to do more?
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that, Dr. Harris?
Well, he's developed the model. He built the first one. He learned a lot. You build the second one, it's a lot easier. And maybe that's a part of your mission.
Yeah.
To bring this whole concept to not only the housing developments in New York, but when people see the benefits of it, they might go all around the country. But Ricky, the rain is really kind.
All right, we don't let you go.
Talk to you.
Beautiful, man.
And
Thank you for
to get back on the road.
Thank you for this short time. I really appreciate it.
All right, Ricky, you keep up the good work. You and your crew there.
That's right.
All right.
Keep up the good work.
All right. I wanted.
pretty deep there, Ricky.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Short, but it was sweet. But I was curious about Bill Dean and your comment. I wanted him. He didn't hear your comments. I really
I
wanted
know.
him to get some.
Oh man.
We'll do it again.
All right.
And when he comes to New York, he's going to come to the studio.
Okay.
But I need some feedback on your comments.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
Did you hear what he said?
I did.
What'd you think about what Bill said?
Bill's a smart guy. He's got an opinion, and that's what you need in order for this to work. You need people who have an opinion and who are willing to share and help other people to be smarter. Because one of the things that, as a people, we're not that smart, and we get outflanked and outsmarted all the time because we're kind people. We will help people. I'm talking about black people in general. That's part of our DNA. What the problem with us is that when we get mad, all hell breaks loose.
So there's the physical laws, and then there's the spiritual laws.
Well, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. And if you want to be, I'll use Jesse Jackson's. It's your attitude that will determine your altitude, not your aptitude.
Well,
So most people think it's their aptitude that will get them where they are. It's really your attitude that's going to determine your altitude.
that could be correct,
Oh, that is correct.
but
yeah.
I think it comes down to the keys. And if you have a key to get in that door, it really don't matter what your attitude
You're
is.
not wrong about that, but if you don't have the right attitude, ain't nobody going to work with you. So there you go.
But you can get in the door.
You can get in the door all you want. People get in the door all the time. You can get in the door. People can play the game to get in the door. Say the right code, say the right thing, have the right key, get in the door. What you going to do when you get in the door? You could get into a basketball camp, a professional basketball camp. You can get in there. But if you get in there and show everybody that you a stink butt and you side-eyeing everybody, you ain't going to be on the team. Because people want people on the team that could help them win.
All right.
And if you got and if there's practice, travel, or game from October to March and April, they're not taking no side-eye stink butt person with them that can't help them win. Not gonna happen.
But if you can't get in the door, you're not even going to be on the team.
You're not. If you can't. That's absolutely right. If you're not qualified to get in the room, you don't count. And that's what. And I would say, as our people, economically, we're not at the door. We're not in the door. We're not at the table. We can't even smell the table. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous, man. It's how dumb we are. We let other people walk all over us, and we go in and we ask people who kicks us in the ass. We ask them to be fair to us.
Yep.
Stupid shit. You're asking people who kick you, who make a living out of kicking you in your ass, and keeping their foot in your ass, and you go ask them, "Can you give me a job? Can you help me?" Why should they? They don't need us.
Right.
That's why this thing here works, because we don't need them. That's why this works, because we don't need them. And that's what you got to start thinking about, how we could do things to help each other. And you want to help anybody who's willing to ask for help. So, because one of my favorite sayings is, a friend in need is a motherfucking pest. They're not a friend indeed. They're pests. But you can tell who your friends are because they'll do their motherfucking pest shit and you still will help them. That's a friend. A friend is somebody you go in the house going, "Man, what he just asked me to do, what she just asked me to do, I don't want to do this shit." And you get up and do it anyway. That's a friend. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
The physical laws of my life have taken me from the mass media of Riverside Church, where I was 17 years old. I was a lazy kid, didn't want to do nothing but watch TV. So my pastor put me into the mass media program. And in that, I learned to work the camera. I learned to work microphones. I learned to record shows. And in doing so, I became empowered. So my physical structure, the spiritual structure started to grow. My spiritual structure was like, wow, this is great. I'm doing something really good. And it's mattering because it would air on public access. After the sermon was over, I saw my work
That's
on
beautiful.
TV.
That's beautiful.
All right. And so I went to college, took me a reference with me, and I didn't have the physical structure. I was in college, but I wasn't doing college work. I was DJing, loved that, but I wasn't doing the actual radio show. I wasn't doing the actual physical structure that.
You doing it now?
Yeah. So
You're doing it right now.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because it took me 20 years to get back to this. And so when I went to school at the age of 44, I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? I don't have any money. And so Obama, okay, he granted me the option to go back to school with full financial aid. And I was like out of work for like 3 years because that's what the recession did. I took that opportunity, went to college, and I went and stayed and graduated. My spiritual structure,
Beautiful.
What school did you go to?
BMCC, and then the CUNY baccalaureate program, which is part of the CUNY, but it's all the schools in Boston. So I was taking classes at City College.
Different location.
Right. Hunter.
They got a master's program like that. by the way.
Yeah. They got a graduate program.
Just like that.
So it's like when I graduated from the CUNY baccalaureate program, that got my bachelor's. And I said, okay, what can I do with this? The president, Carl, told me there's a radio show.
That's Carlton Davis, by the way.
That's right. And when he heard that I was on HCR in my college days, he automatically, you'll go to that station at 4:00. Okay, you're down.
Because this is his dream, man.
That's right. And I listened to him. I came here. I met you, and I'm like, oh wow. And now I got my DJ stuff here. I can't plug it in, but
That's all right. We'll have it next
it's
time.
going. That's
You
right.
already knew me. What you mean, man?
I know because Rick.
But not radio. Boy. That's
I
what
know
he's
him
saying.
from WACR.
Okay, so there you go.
The part that why I didn't know him from 31.
Right, he didn't know me from Grant. He never knew me from Grant.
That's
He
deep.
knew all my boys, but he didn't know me.
Except when Boris came up to the studio, he came up there with Boris.
Right,
For Boris was a football player.
right.
He wrote a book.
Yeah, good
And,
book.
he came up there a couple of times. He brought his mother up there one time. Did you know that? Daisy
No, I didn't
Pendergrass?
know she was up there.
Yeah, he brought her up there. We was up there dancing and everything.
Oh,
man.
wow, okay.
Yeah. Daisy Pendergrass, man. Beautiful, man.
Well, you never know where
She was
you're going to learn or where a sign's going to be. Now, I was saying earlier how I went down. They were recruiting people to go to the Harvard Business School, which, I guess you should be excited about that, but I wasn't because I couldn't see living in Boston. But excuse me, but like there was that lady who got up and said, "I think you can." But the guy who really caught my attention was a guy who was a Harvard MBA, had graduated, and he was a lawyer too. And he said, I sell cars in Miami because I love cars. And then he said, you can learn anything you want from books. So all the engineering stuff that you see, all the stuff, I learned all that shit from reading books, man.
That's what he said?
No, I'm telling you what I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I learned how to be an engineer and all this
That's
shit from
right.
reading books.
yeah.
Wow.
Self-taught, in essence. And I would have never done it if I hadn't been there. I mean, because I had a chance to go to Purdue because I used to run a group home, and they were looking for people I could have gotten the graduate program at Purdue as long as I worked at one of the dorms, making sure the little knuckleheads don't kill each other.
Right.
Whatever. But when it was the black guy who was a PhD in business, who was the recruiter, I had been to Lafayette before when I was an undergrad playing basketball. I ain't want no part of that shit, man. I've been to Lafayette, Indiana, and I kept saying to guys, that near Gary, because Gary, Indiana is where a lot of blacks live. So I said, how far is that to Gary? And he said, oh, Gary's a long way. I said, well, I'm not coming, man. You know, and the opportunity to go there or Boston didn't seem like a good idea. And the guy was sitting there saying, hey, man, you know, he was saying, what happens when you go to a grad school like that? So I want him going to NYU grad school. Because at the time I thought I was going to be a filmmaker because I had made this film called Flatbush Detective Agency. I had wrote it and we shot it when I was an undergraduate. So I thought there was this black guy who made this film called Men of Bronze, and I forgot his name, my brother's a filmmaker. And he sent me down to NYU to this seminar. And they was down, they had some filmmakers down and they were showing films. And this kid got up and he showed this film called Joe's Barbershop, We Do Heads. And when the film was over, the guy got up there and started talking. That guy was Spike Lee. And I said, fuck film school. This kid is dynamite. So I rolled in, I got into this program at NYU, which was a specialized program for technology where they only took in like 12 people every year. So I went down there and I talked my way in, really. I just really talked in my way off the street. And they had all of this advanced, fancy, schmancy equipment down there, and that's how I started learning how to use technology to work. And the way I got in was the lady asked me one question. She said, well, what do you think the future's going to be like? I said, I don't know, but one day the phone, the internet was just brand new then. I said, the phone, the internet, and cable. I said, oh, that's going to be one day. And she said, you're in. I got in off of that. That was it. I'm serious. And so I got in there. Once I got in that program, I started realizing that, you know, I wasn't that stupid.
You was a genius, but
but you could do something.
That's right.
And then, so that's when I decided that, you know what, at the same time, the government had decided that they were going to unlicense satellite antennas, which opened the door for cable, HBO and all that simultaneously. And I realized that, I started doing some reading, I realized that the cities, they were just starting to franchise cable. And when you read all the rules, the cable franchises were not exclusive. They were supposed to be non-exclusive.
Right.
So what I did was, Stu and I filled out a cable application and sent it downtown, which we knew that the white people weren't going to acknowledge it. And then I went out and built the cable system. So when you see that article that says Electronic Robin Hood of South Bronx, talking about us, when they rolled on me and said, hey, man, you running cable all over the place. Because you see even the articles that we ran cable in the courthouse, the jail, everywhere. When they rolled on me and said, who told you? When they rolled on me and said, well, you put the cable in and you don't have a franchise, and that's unauthorized. And I looked at them, I said, how come I don't have a franchise? And they were stunned. I said, I don't have a franchise. They said, no. I said, why not? Couldn't fucking answer that. Oh, because I sent you an application. Go check. Go look in the garbage can where you're through it at. Go look in the garbage can and check out my franchise application out. So if I don't have a franchise for this, it's because you didn't give me one. It was fucked up. See what I'm saying? If you don't have the evidence, you're just talking, man.
That's right.
And as a ball player, you can talk all you want about what you're going to do, but when they toss the ball up, and you out there playing, they keep statistics, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll tell you what that college coach used to do to you. I ain't gonna say he did to me. Here's what he would do to the players who didn't play well. So because in basketball, like in life, in basketball, you have to show the coach that you can make them, and they'll let you take them. They ain't gonna let you get out there and take no shots unless you go to practice and show them that you can make shots. So you show them you can make them, they let you take them. And when the guys in practice who couldn't make shots, they would go to the coach and they'd say, I should be playing more. Here's what the coach would do. Okay, Bill. They take out the statistics. Let's see, Bill. We played the University of Ohio, Bill, and we turned you loose and you shot a blistering 1 for 9. Even though Bill was in the game doing extensive garbage time, where everybody just jacking up shots, right? They used that against him. They would use that against Bill. That's how they do it, because they have the statistics. So statistics can work for you
That's
or
right.
against you.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So you have to learn how the game. So what we figured out was you have to ask for the information. Got to let the racism work for you by asking them for it, so that they're going to ignore you and then go do it anyway. And then when they come roll on you, and how did we get them to roll on us? We took and ran a wire all the way across 149th Street, big ass street, and I brought a big giant banner that said "Say No to Crack," and I put the cable wire under the banner, through the banner. That's how I used the banner to run the cable across the street, which is supposed to be illegal. But I went and found out what the consequence was. So running illegal wire across the street was you were violating the graffiti law. So I've been in prison already. And I said, we're violating the graffiti law. That's like a class W misdemeanor. Like 10 minutes in jail or some shit. So I said some rules you have to some rules you have to violate. So we violated that rule, and when they saw that sign that says "Say No to Crack," and they said, "Oh, this guy's doing," and if you read the article, the guy's going, he's running stuff all over the place. They didn't say they was causing the danger. They said he dug up the streets, because I dug the streets up too. I dug the streets up, and what scared them was they knew that I knew how the communication system worked, and there's no protection. So when I went downtown and told them, I said, "Okay, what y'all gonna do?" We went down and we had a meeting. They pulled out all these books. They had all these lawyers in there. They pulled out all these books, and they said, and the guy started reading, all these rules. And I said, time out. And the guy said, what? I said, I'm black, right? And they was all incredulous when I said that. I said, I'm black. And the guy said, well, finally, the guy said, yeah, okay. I said, I know that the rules don't work for me. So you don't have to finish. I said, take your little book and close it, because I know that the rules don't work for me. I thought we were down here because you were going to find a rule to make it work. I said, so since y'all can't do that, I said, this meeting's going to be over. I'm going back to keep doing my cable stuff that y'all say that I shouldn't be doing, and you don't have any way to give me a franchise when the rules say that the franchise aren't exclusive. So you guys are incompetent, and I'm not fucking helping you to do your job. So until you come up with a way to give me one, I'll be up there busy doing what I'm doing. And if y'all try to stop me, then I'm not going to be busy and I don't have time just to fuck with y'all. Now that I know I got everybody's picture, I know who everybody is. All of us know who's who in the zoo. We all got our guns on the table. You have to believe in what you're doing, and you have to be able to stick to it. Otherwise, you don't count. And you don't count in this life, because you ain't going to get away with nothing in life. You ain't getting away with nothing, man. You're not. You could think you could do that if you feel like it. But if you want to make an accomplishment, you want to do something, then you got to get out and do it. And at that time, I was going with this chick, and I used to go to her house. She was a dentist. I should go to her house all the time. I'd be complaining, they don't want to do this. And she said, look, why don't you stop that? She said, if you think you're a real general and you really think you all that, then go on out there and do your war. Stop coming in here crying every night. I said, that's all I need is. You know what I mean? You need sometimes you need somebody to say, yeah, just go ahead. And that's what I'm saying that you have to do. We have to present to people what it is that could be done, and not be bothered by all the stuff. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do, because people will tell you that all the time. You can't do this, you're not allowed, like this thing. And now nobody would have never thought that out of this, we wound up getting the largest franchise ever given to a black group in the history of this country. One of the largest franchises ever given out. New York is the biggest city, citywide franchise. Now, getting all that shit financed, well, I can tell you another story, because they don't do that. They don't finance nothing unless you're a white guy. That's how this country works. Now, people don't like to hear that. They go, oh, you're talking to racial talk. No, I'm talking honest talk. You can't, if three white people have more wealth than 150 million people. Three white people have more money than 3 white families has more money than 150 million people. If people knew where they lived at, if people knew their name, they'd be storming the gates after them. They'd be looking to burn down the palace, man, because they need more wood for the fire. See, but people, my point is that people don't understand how capitalism works. Capitalism is a great thing, but unlike sports, where there's a season, or just like when Bill was talking about going to college, you go to college, after you get 120 credits, it's over.
That's right.
Okay, but in capitalism, it's not like that. I don't care how positive you can have the greatest positive guy in the world, which you might be one of them, Rick. But if people don't understand that the system is rigged so that the people who are winning keep winning, it has nothing to do with racism, I don't believe. It has nothing to do with favoritism. It has to do with one thing and one thing only: winning.
It has nothing to do with positivity.
I mean, you can be as positive as you want. If 3 people are allowed to keep winning, or 3 families are allowed to keep winning, and the system is set up so no one else is going to get a chance, you can be as positive as you want. That ain't going to crack the egg. I was very positive about getting the franchise, and people thought I was crazy. So you ain't getting no franchise. I said, I'm getting me one of them shits, man.
That's right.
You ain't getting none. You ain't got some. I'm getting one of them, man. And if I don't get it, I don't care, because I'm gonna do what I need to do. And then right at the same time, they gave a white company, which is now Optimum. They gave Optimum the biggest franchise ever given to anybody.
That's right.
And they allowed them to do the rich neighborhoods first and the poor neighborhoods last. Now, most people would get up and start complaining about that. Not me. In my application, I said, I'm going to build the poor neighborhoods first and the rich neighborhoods last. So when they did roll on me, I was going like, what are you talking about? I'm building the poor neighborhoods. What are you saying? What y'all talking about? Get out my face, man. So I told them, get out my face. And they couldn't do anything. Oh, we're going to take the wires down. Take them down. I don't give a fuck. I put them up there without y'all knowing about it, so you're going to take it down. You think it's going to happen. Putting the shit back the fuck up.
Right back up.
That's what's going to happen. You can't do nothing. You can be out here all night. See what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to let them know that you're not one of them. See, because people be so busy trying to be with them. I'm going to go down there to get me a job. I'm going to go down there to get me a contract. You ain't going to. Remember, we did. I had to go for Stu at Rice High School when Rice High School was still around. Stu was supposed to be one of the speakers. He couldn't go. I went there. So we go in there. All the young kids in there, and I said, I wrote 2 names on the board: Jim Dolan, and I wrote this name Alfred. I forgot Alfred's last name. Alfred something. But Alfred owns Radio and TV One. You ever heard of TV One?
Yes.
Well, Alfred Liggins is his name. So I wrote his name on the board. So does anybody know who these guys are? They didn't know who Jim Dolan was. I said, you don't know who he was? I said, that's the guy. He has a helicopter. That's the guy that pays Patrick Ewing all that money. He made Patrick Ewing a millionaire, but you don't know his name. Alfred Liggins is the black guy who just bought 100 radio stations. Never heard of him. So I said to the class, I said, how many of you guys think you're going to go to college? And I said, how many guys are basketball players? A bunch of them put their hands up. How many guys think you're going to get to play Division I? A bunch of them put their hand up. How many guys think you're going to get in the NBA? Well, at least 20 of them put their hand up. I said, I can tell you this. I said, I don't know, there must have been about maybe 38, 39 then. I said, I'm 37 years old, and none of y'all could beat me to get in the NBA. You couldn't beat me. I said, think about what you're saying. You're going to come out your mother's house, and you're going to go to an NBA camp, and I'm living a good life. I got me a couple of cars. I got a nice house. I'm taking care of my family. I'm in the big time, and your little punk ass is gonna come take that from me. I said, when we go to practice, I'm gonna be almost willing to murder one of y'all out there in the court. I mean, within reason. You just not. How you gonna beat me? They're just gonna have to hand it to you for you to get it. I said, I don't think any of you guys are capable of beating out anybody that's a grown NBA player. I just don't see it. I said, if any one of y'all guys was good enough, we would have heard about you, because everybody's always looking out, because in basketball, there's always another guy coming. Always. Isn't that true in boxing, Rick? Always somebody coming, Rick?
That's right.
Yeah. So that's my point.
Was Steve Burke good enough to make it in the NBA?
He made it.
He made it.
He got drafted? He got
Houston
drafted by the Warriors.
Rockets.
No, Warriors.
No, I'm sorry, but he wound up with the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, but he got drafted by the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
He made it, but he went right. He went right 85% of the time, and he still got in. Because he was a big-time scorer in college. He had the resume.
He went to Iona?
He had the body of work. Him and Gary Springer, they both went there.
Gary Springer. Wow.
They had the body of work. But they both was like from when my mother, the same building that my mother lived in, that's where Gary Springer was, and Steve lived right around the corner with his grandmother. So that's how I met all of them. And in fact, I got a picture at home where we were all in a dunk contest and the role was the winner gets $500. In the state, they held it in the state office building in the lobby out in the yard out there. They had a basket up there. So this is where we did the dunk contest.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find out. Springer won it, but he couldn't take the gift. And Steve was second, and I was third, and I wound up getting the gift because I was I had gotten out of college, but I was the only one that was eligible to get it. So every time I see Steve, we always laugh about the being in there and took all our pictures, and I had long dreads back then when nobody knew what dreads was. I just called it not combing my hair. So.
You was getting up that high, man?
Hey, Rick, I don't think I jumped as high as Carlton or anything like that, but, for a little guy, you know what I mean? I could dunk. You mean, could I dunk? Yes, I could dunk.
So you told those guys that you don't think they're going to make it. What did they say?
I didn't tell them. Who you mean?
The guys you went to speak to at Rice.
They couldn't say anything. Their jaw was hanging down on the floor. I said, "You ever been in a professional camp?" I said, "No." I would say right now, none of y'all are gonna make it. That's why I don't see nobody in here growing up. If somebody was sitting there look like maybe Zion Williams or something, maybe But see, all of those guys get tagged early. So you know what I'm saying? You ain't, you're not going to be on the jet jockey list to get into the league if people don't know who you are. Particularly now with all that money that's involved. Because you get in the league, you ain't never working again. Your family ain't working again now. You get in the league today. So,
is it possible to graduate from the monkey ball to the NBA?
Nah.
Not going to be able to do it. No.
I've spent many years.
Well, first of all, there ain't no more monkey bars in a lot of places, so I don't know if somebody would be able to get the talent.
Well, they still got monkey bars out here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not like we had. We had the official.
Remember, he's full court monkey bar.
I know.
We had the official monkey bar.
See, you keep it up, man. We're gonna have to get the ball, go out there and play some 5-2 to shut you up, man.
Yeah.
Shut you up, man. He's gonna get some 5-2. We ain't gonna play enough like that, and just see what kind of shooting skills that people have. That's what we need to do. Maybe when it get warm or something, we need to do that, man. Take you on out there and play some 5-2 and have some shooting skills to see if we can make some baskets.
But you heard what I said, though, right?
I'd be happy to do that. I would shoot left-handed against your ass.
Okay, wait a second. But you heard what I said. We had the official monkey bars.
You're going back, man. Come, stay with us, man. We're gonna do it right now. Because we're not going out on the monkey bars right now. Right. You're probably the baddest dude in the world. The monkey bars today, right now. We got the monkey bars. You probably kill everybody.
Well, they're not there no more now.
I'm just thank you. Thank you. Thank God. But I'm just saying, if there was a monkey bars, I wouldn't go out there against you, even today, because you're just too enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Your enthusiasm is way too high. I'm not doing that. But if now if you want to go somewhere and shoot some 5-2, well, you got to have some real skills.
Yeah.
Anytime. And I give you a handicap. I would shoot left-handed against you.
Well,
so I'm not saying. The reason why I'm saying it because I'm not saying I would beat you. I'm saying I would shoot left-handed. I think I would be very competitive. That would be a handicap for you.
We did graduate to
the big rims.
Stone Gym eventually. Yeah, we did graduate. So
well, you should have been here last week when Charlie and them was in here. You would have heard about the exploits and the scoring stuff and all that. And
I was out there with my.
I know you were. But I'm saying that we could have got you in there. It's on YouTube. But if we could have got you in there, you could have heard, Charlie, who, like I told Charlie in the interview, if Charlie would have been born 25 years later, we would have been all sitting in Charlie's mansion talking about what we was talking about, because that's how, he's got that size and those skills. He had the qualifications, he had the size and the skill, and the skill. And that's the first thing they look for is the size.
And what team he played for?
What do you mean what team he played for?
Yeah, what team he played for?
A bunch of teams, I don't know.
Okay.
He was one of my teammates. He was one he played with us.
But did he play in the NBA?
No.
Okay.
No, he ain't in the NBA.
And what college did he go to?
Cameron, I don't know. Cameron Junior College. He was a junior college guy.
Okay.
Led the nation in scoring, and he had, had a little incident. He didn't get anywhere.
He had an incident. Well, you know how that works, man.
Yeah, but he did it backwards. He had, he had all of the skills to get in, and then he had the incident then. Unlike me, who I had the incident first, and then, I had, had already said, okay, well, I'm not going to be going anywhere because I'm a stupid ass. And I just got lucked up because of Joe Hammond. If it wasn't for Joe Hammond, I would have never gotten college. I would have never graduated from college if it wasn't for him. And he dig this, he ain't go nowhere. I had to thank him, man. It was like the other day, we was at a funeral. I had to thank him for that.
Yeah.
Because just off his fumes, people were just coming around looking at him, trying to figure out how to, get advantage. And I was in his group, his training group. Like you see them NBA dudes playing, when the off season they in some gym and all of them is in there playing. They only invite certain dudes. If you was a musician, Miles Davis, they don't let anybody come and play with them. They might call Bill up and a couple other people. They only let people come in who has the chops to participate.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give me a training group, man.
As long as it ain't boxing, we good.
You said, as long as it ain't
As long as
boxing.
it ain't boxing, man.
That's gonna be in the mix, of
Oh,
course.
but that's for you. But I mean, if you talking about including me in anything, we talking 5'2". We talking some shooting drills, man. Because one of the things about being a ball player, you enter into a whole lot of shooting games because you have a lot of free time.
Lots. You have to figure Rick is a boxer, so his concept is not team sports. So he's going to think individually, and he's going to think, I'm going to do the best that I can.